Welcome to Forever Home channel. On this platform, we discuss all things related to Ghana and Africa. Our real estate company, Royal Consulting Solution, is the foremost location for all your land acquisition, building needs, relocation, and starting a successful business in Ghana. We also provide quality information through our consultation and webinar series. We can be reached at royalconsultingsolutions.com. Come join the trusted source for all your reliable information. Hello, everyone. We met Saturday, someday in September. I hope you guys can see me. And then let me see if you're around. Post something. Today is a good discussion that I want us to have. So check in as you come in. And then I know it's working. I'm using a different camera. So if something happens, I'm going to switch to another camera about 2 to 3 minutes. So anyway, post something. I want to know who's there, who's in the house. I appreciate you guys taking the time to join me on this important discussion. So I believe it's necessary, just on an individual holistic view, but also as on the macro as a group. And so we see Akia. Good afternoon. Let me know where you are tuning in from. So, like I said, one of the things that is going on, I'll give shout out as people come in. And then I'm also going to post a link. And if you want to join in for a few minutes and share your thoughts, that'd be awesome. And so, because, no one has all the brains. So D, thank you for tuning in. Eve, thank you. And stuff. So anyway, I'll dive into it. So obviously Africa is expanding. I'm going to narrow this to more like Ghana specifically, but this topic I think goes beyond Ghana. And so one of the things I want us to think about, and if we are aware, is that there's a lot of development happening in Ghana, right? And so, but then there's also a good component of that are owned by foreign entities, Lebanese, Turkish, Chinese, some Europeans and stuff like that. And so they find that there is a need in this gap, and there's a gap, and they have occupied that gap. So then one of the things that we have to think about is, okay, for some of us that grew up in Ghana for a long time, we're used to certain life, and then as we got exposure to other things, there's a standard of living that we want. Okay, yes. Maklo market has been the same way as a child, right? And I'm, 40 early. Okay. It's still the same condition. So at least my lifetime, that condition has been the same. So now in my case, lifetime, when it turned 40, would that be the condition? Would that be the same? Or if it changes around that time? So it took 80 plus years to make a change. So when you have another company comes in, they provide a supermarket, in the sanitary conditions, prices are visible. You can buy everything you need at one spot. Then you redirect the money into there, right? So middle class, upper middle class, and the wealthy are patronizing these businesses, right? And so what you have is then the money is being extracted out of the country. So instead, our own people must actually take advantage of this vacuum and also compete. So we will talk about that, why we feel like the competition is necessary, because if we don't do that, then we have nobody to blame, right? So that is just even on an individual level. But then as a nation, the way we are conducting ourselves, the way we are giving away these resources, is just laying the groundwork for exploitation, abuse, and slavery. Okay, this can be in the 14, 15, 1600s or 1700s, and whatever happened, this is happening in our lifetime. Okay, most of us have lived in the 21st century right now, right? So we are beginning to see this, and we are paying attention to this. So it's only a matter of time that the national debt becomes so great that there's a collateral. And what is the collateral? The land. Okay, and once they take the collateral, they can start detecting certain things. And whose fault will be? Our fault. Because this time, I've not seen invasion of armies from the shores with boat or ships to take over. This is a situation that we are handing things to them for a lot of reasons. And it's only going to matter of time that uh, the citizen becomes a foreigner in his own land. And so these are some of the things that we have to talk about. And so we can say be one, be this, be that, and all that stuff. That's very cute. But if we're now willing to go and compete and also have a space in this resources, acquire some of these resources, then it's only a matter of time that you're going to be put in a rightful place, and then we may have to complain another 1,000 years about somebody came back and re-enslaved us again. This time will be our fault. Okay, so we're going to open that. I'm going to post the link somewhere. There's one person in here um, who's going to join. It's a brother that you have seen before. I'm gonna bring him. He's gonna share his perspective. We're gonna take it from there, and then we're gonna discuss about exactly how this thing is being happening, how we are beginning to lose, the country per se, and we need to pay attention to that, right? Because 100 years is our time in our case lifetime, right? And so what you build today if can be destroyed, taken over in a couple of decades, then you might have to reassess where your investment should go. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna add the brother Salif on it, and then I'm gonna hear his thoughts, and then we're gonna take it from there. Okay, if you have some questions, you can put it in there. Also, here's the link. If you can join in. Okay, Salif, are you there?
Hey, hello, brother. Hello, everyone. This is Salif. Yeah, I mean the topic it's a hot topic, and I think that um, we had a chance to discuss about the topic somehow. I think that everybody had a chance to discuss about this topic. My thought in that is that it's we have to look at things.
Salif, can you speak a little bit louder, please, into the mic?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yeah, we
That's
can hear
good.
you. Yeah. Yes.
All right, no problem. Yeah, yeah. So what I'm saying is that we have to take the conversation in the high level, but also in the low level too, because the fact that we have some people coming into our countries and investing, it's a good thing. Definitely, it's a good thing. A country that doesn't have any investment is not a country that can grow. We need an investment, but also we don't want our our local business and company to be out compete by those companies that are coming from other countries. But the thing is that we don't have the support. We don't have the support of our leaders. We don't have the support of our legislators. But the thing is that we have to do something ourselves. Are we ready to invest and do things, take things into our own hands, or are we gonna still expect those in power to resolve that? For example, if a company, a foreign company comes to our countries, they have all the tax breaks, they have all access to all the documentation easily, for them. But like a local company, it's difficult for him to get it, and the tax is higher and all that. So, and we lack of organization. We don't organize ourselves. We always complaining, but we don't improve, and we're expecting people to come over to our companies and buy stuff. Yes, we should buy African all the time, but we also have to organize ourselves and make better product, and compete with those who coming, from outside. So that is a little bit my input into that, Malik.
Yeah, so I'm going to add, Nana Yao is here. I'm going to add him too, and then so you stay in there, and then we're gonna take in there. Nana Yao,
Hey, how are you, sir?
good, good, good. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just trying to. adjust a few things here. How are you all, man?
Wait, good, good. Were you listening to what we were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think? I want to hear what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, so this is a touchy subject, and I believe you're gonna get some, people, disagreeing with you and attacking you, calling you negative, and uh, calling all kinds of names. Because so the narrative now is like, oh, Africa has gotten its fair share of all the negative stuff, so we should just focus on the positives. But this is a very important topic. So, in 100 years, where do we see ourselves as a continent? Where do we see ourselves as a nation? This is something that it is worth looking at. And so, most of the people who attack you, who would criticize you, you know, um, belong to the 85% who may yearn to go back home to build something, but may not have the resources or may simply not be interested. You know, so that we know that this, not everybody's going to support everything that we're going to be saying here. So first of all, it's leadership, man. It's leadership. So the old establishment is still in power in most African countries. You look at Nigeria, you look at Ghana, you look at Uganda, you look at Kenya. These are the old establishments. So in the next 100 years, we are seeing a phase off from the old establishment. And there's going to be a new crop of people, young people who want something different, who want infrastructure, who want good healthcare, good schools, good roads, who will not want to be puppets. So we're going to be seeing some positives. We're going to see a lot of investments in the area of technology, agriculture. We're going to see a lot of those things. But this is also very true. There's going to be a lot of foreigners coming in. There's going to be a lot of foreign investments, people who are interested in making money for themselves, and then countries who are also interested in exploiting Africa. So you have some situations in Africa right now where we have some people coming in from illegal routes. They don't show up. They don't show up into the country on legal route. They don't come to the airports. So we had stories like, we have people from China coming in through Cote d'Ivoire, to Ghana. Some of these things nobody knows. Maybe the government officials don't even know. They come to illegal routes. They set up camps in villages. They, in villages, they don't show up in the cities, so you don't know they're there. They come in with a lot of money, a lot of resources. They know where they go. They go into where the mining villages. They go where the gold, the diamonds, are. They come in a lot of money. They buy thousands of acres of land, and mine, destroying rivers, destroying our lakes, destroying the forest reserves, having 10 girlfriends, having kids, that they are never going to take care of, and when they finish what they're doing, they just leave. These people show up and rape the continent. That is also going to be there's going to be a lot of that kind of situations also. So it's we hear Mother Africa, but I'm going to say something that some people are going to get mad at me, but still, Mother Africa, is he a mother or is he a whore? Is he a mother or is he a whore? So you have to know, everybody wants Mother Africa. You love Mother Africa. You want the best for Mother Africa. But Mother Africa is in love with a lot of countries. Mother Africa has a lot of husbands, a lot of boyfriends. Mother Africa loves other people. And other people love Mother Africa because Mother Africa is so fertile. And so don't get mad. Don't get mad when you see Chinese. Don't get mad when you see. Yeah, well, I'm not going to say don't get mad. You can get mad, but hey, go in and compete. As our brother was saying, go in and compete. I mean, if you know, we've done well, we've done very well with markets like macro markets. But hey, the Chinese are coming with bigger malls, big malls, very organized. They're gonna start selling the same stuff that the Mokala women are selling. They will sell the same quality kente, you know. And if the kente woman in Mokala market is selling his kente for 20 cities per yard, yeah, the Chinese mall will sell that same kente for 15 cities per yard. Okay. Now, are you going to go to the Makala market or are you going to go to the Chinese mall? You know the difference between a local market and a mall. Where would you go? Where would you go? Where we have products which have prices on them that you can visibly see, or you go to the market where you have to bargain. And normally, when they see you as a foreigner speaking a different accent, they're going to say 50 cities. Meanwhile, it's 10 cities. Where are you going to go? Okay, so it's going to be competitive. The Chinese will show up. The Lebanese will be show. They're not going anywhere. So stop saying they should go back home. They're not going back home. They're not going anywhere. Okay, the Europeans are not going anywhere. They've been in Africa ever since. Okay, get used to them. They're not going anywhere. They're coming in there. They're bringing their products. They're bringing their good products. They're bringing their fake products. It's listen, if you're not interested, then stop complaining. If you're interested, get in there and compete. Okay? All right. Let me let somebody else speak.
All right. So I remember what else to chat. So I know about the Western region. That is from there. And first at that time, there was the Dutch, Europeans were mining, and then the Chinese been very active the last, say, 20, 25 years. And it's interesting, you see the Western region is very, very interesting because I would say it's probably the most mineral diverse, the most fertile lands, and the most potential in terms of resources in the of Ghana, because the Western region has the highest rainfall in Ghana. It has large green hills, fertile soil, rich in gold, cocoa, oil and gas reserves, bauxite, manganese, citrus fruit, shea nuts, coconut, palm oil, fishery, and then one of the most important things too, it has access to the ocean, right? So if you look at it on the map, that is very, very strategic. Somebody did their homework to be able to pick a spot that they could go outside from the city without the officials' interference. I think they know if the government want to know, they will know. What do you mean they don't know? See what I'm saying? They do know. They just don't care. Or somebody's getting paid somewhere. And so it's very, very interesting. That becomes the hub of, galamsey, gold mining, and that kind of stuff, that activities and stuff. And then when I was there 2008, I can see the rampage on the irrigation land all has been destroyed. And then you have this minerals that are toxic that are flowing to the rivers and stuff like that. So, but one of the things I want to talk about too is, how did they get there? I mean, it looks to me they have gotten there either by some accomplice or somebody's getting paid or negligence, or there's a lot of factors. It's not an invasion in terms of what we consider as a normal invasion, so they are there. And the chiefs, because there's one that I know not far from my village, the deal the chief got was $200,000 for 20 years. And the amount of gold that is being taken every month is in the millions. Okay. And so 2020, we're in 2020. If you allow yourself to be exploited with all the technology, with all the resources available, with everything that we can do now, and I think we have refused. It's not even a question. We have refused to handle our business as Black people. Everybody for his own. That's the attitude now. Forget about the next generation. At a rate, the countries are getting debt. The land is collateral. Those deals, I know how they make the deals because I have made deals with them. You need a really collateral. So the land and the resource are the collateral. and then you can't be able to pay these loans, and then they take the land, and then they can decide. So, and it's interesting because if you look at the western region, so I'm thinking about how they could do it is look, they block off, they can build a wall. I mean, let's say western region becomes collateral. Okay, I'm just giving you a scenario. They block, build a wall from Brona Hafo, cover most of it, that you get a little bit of Ashanti region, and the rest to the eastern part, southeastern part. That's will be the central region. You build a wall all the way straight to the ocean. You have navigation access. You can bring your ships to move whatever you need straight. That is how you do it. So somebody had a military minds in mind to be strategic and pick a spot that they can extract, they can defend, and stuff like that. So you telling me these people called politicians in Ghana don't know about these, right? And so we're doing it to ourselves. 20th century, 21st century, we're doing it to ourselves. There's no excuse for that. In 100 years, at the pace we are going right now, in 100 years, I'll bet, I'll put money. We can put this in writing. 100 years, I'm not going to be here because I don't want to live that long. We can match the money. We can put it down right in and stuff like that. Somebody can execute, your grandkids can execute this, or your kids can execute this. That in 100 years, we'll probably use about 75 to 80% of the land will not be owned by the local government at the rate that is going. And so we need to really address it. I don't care if the ocean is beautiful. I don't care if the river is beautiful. I don't care what you have. If you do not own it, you can protect it. It is of no use. And so, yes, nice beaches, nice river for now. Soon, somebody's going to own it, probably a foreigner, and it's going to be a private access. And they'll get a local to protect you from having access to that. And so we need to really, really pay attention to these things because I feel like I've hung with a lot of groups. And the one area, because they used to say black people are inferior or has no ability to cognitively to process things. But there's one thing that I figure with all these groups from Chinese, Indians, Koreans, what are Eastern Europeans, all this, so Jewish people, all this, I've hung with them and I've studied them. There's one area that they are all these groups, they are doing well in the world. There's one area that they are doing more than we are is they are using the mental capacity to process, to think, to plan 100, 1,000 year plan. They are utilizing that instead of us, especially in Ghana, we are memorizing who Moses' mother's mother was, who Abraham's second wife's name. You see, you are making yourself irrelevant because you are not going to build a nation. You are not going to put yourself in the competitive arena when you are not even dealing with the things that are very, very important to you. So I don't think they are good because what is going to happen if a foreign entity comes to a region and they develop the area, okay, they bring infrastructure, they bring resources, the locals will get a loyalty. If they have to fight another group out, another local from another region, those locals in that particular region will join and fight because they have something to prepare to protect. And so we are just we are laying ourselves for abuse, for slavery. The next slavery, we're still in slavery, but the next one is a walk in the park. It's a walk in the park. So I think these things we need to really, really pay attention to. We really, really need to pay attention to these things. And so, and then we will talk about some solutions, after that. Anyway, so that's my thought.
Well, I mean, so a few weeks ago we had an incident where, not an incident, but there was a Chinese national who was made a chief in one of the villages, and you ask yourself, so why, but then we Ghanaians know that this is not new. They've been making chiefs, white people chiefs in some villages, for the longest time. You know, so and everybody's angry. Hey, those of us, some of us, we know that this has been happening. So, but ask yourself, how did it happen? So you're a Chinese person, Chinese guy, you show up, you bring a little bit of money from China, you know, um, you bring a little bit of money, you show up, you go see the chief, you give them a little bit of money. Remember, the chiefs and the locals are always hungry. You know, you buy them, maybe you give them a borehole, uh, you build a little clinic for them, you help them renovate maybe the school. You know, you're a good person. Okay, they will make you a chief. Okay, I mean, we have district assembly, we have the chief executive, we have the member of parliament who don't do anything for these people. Okay, so when the Chinese show up and give them a little bit of something, they make him a chief. Okay, and you go and tell them that, hey, go and ask them why you didn't make him a chief. They will tell you the reason why they made him a chief. This is what it is. Okay, when leadership fail, this is what happens. You know, when simple basic, when the basic things, healthcare, food, electricity, you know, basic shelter. If people don't get it and somebody offers it to them, it doesn't matter who the person is. You know, it's not about the color of the skin. You know, it's not about what the language the person speaks. It can be a total foreigner. You know, it can even be an ape. Okay, I'm telling you, they will make him a chief. Okay, so this is what we are doing to deal with, and you're asking for 100 years. If leadership doesn't change, if there are not new ways of doing things, if they're not, the leadership is not, if the leadership in Africa is not patriotic enough, we will see a lot of these things. Yes.
Salih, you want to take it?
Yes, definitely. All right. So my point is, I'm gonna attack the energy side of Africa. You know, over the year we saw a lot of company coming over to Africa. The mining, especially the mining companies. So when they come, they extracting African mineral resources at huge profit for shareholders, but at the same time, we've scant reward for local population. The local population don't get anything from them other than pollution. Pollution and a lot of things that we don't know if we're gonna recover even in 100 years. So Africa is interested in trade and investment, but those trade and investment, there's a lack of transparency, and there is no sound governance. It's very shameful, that you can have some company come over, build their empire, and you cannot train your own people to get the same knowledge and buy the same material and get our like national owned company that gonna do that, and the profit is gonna be 100% for the population. It's shameful. But also, I want to say that how can we held those people accountable for what they're doing? How can we, as African, organize ourselves to compete? It's in one hand, it's to hold those people accountable, our leaders, but in the other hand too, it's to organize ourselves to compete and not wait for them. That's the question. And I invite everyone that is in the chat room or to participate. Join the link. It's a good conversation, and you have to take part of it. Please.
I'm gonna put this question here, and then whoever, then you can take them. So from saying we are foreigners issues, I think that we should not only be on Chinese, what about Turkish and European? So So it's not that we are fake, we just focusing on Chinese right now. I think what is going on is the, the issue is that it's a global market, right? It's competition, free market to some extent. And it's kind of like you have kids, you're not feeding the kids. But then when the neighbors start feeding the kids, then you're telling the kids not to go there and eat. So that is what we're talking about. So it will be difficult to to keep everybody out unless we are taking care of our business. So other than that, it's going to be a problem. You don't want to create infrastructure. People want more now. The new generation a little bit agitated, like the previous parents. It's going to be worse because I'm not raising my kids to be quiet. Guarantee you. And so they're going to demand more. And so the issue is that when they don't have that, people will go somewhere else. And so until we, until we as collective, take care of our own house, because you can't tell me if the all there is mokola, okay, that's all there is, and then have another option. I'm not gonna go to mokola. It's just that's the way it is. And so because if you see on alternatives and something is better, you can't just close your eyes because because it's like a different person. So I'm not gonna patronize over there. So that is the challenge. The challenge is that we have and I think we have refused. We don't care and we are refused. And it's gonna catch up to us. And we're gonna lose and we may never recover. When we lose these things, we can't because I don't see how we can recover. We don't even have because you don't even have the manpower, you don't have the military capability to take it back. So when you lose it, it's gone. And this time is gonna be more painful. So I think we need to start thinking about these things, right? And we have to go in there, like people are saying, and then compete. Yes, it may be individual, collectively that we get together and we go and start buying, some of these shorelines, start buying these lands and hold them, okay? Because if you lose it, you lose it, right? And so we will want people to participate. So join in. Okay, so I'll just leave you. So now, yeah, you can go.
Well, I mean, so people forget that, I mean, you might sit in America, UK, Germany, wherever you are as a diaspora, and think that, um, why are Europeans going in? Why are Turkish, Lebanese, why are Chinese going to Africa? Listen, the local African doesn't care about who comes in. The local African doesn't have money. He doesn't have food. Okay, he doesn't have a job. Okay, so Turkish show up and opens a restaurant, is bringing food to the table. They are happy. Okay, they're being paid $1 a day, $1 a day. They're happy. It puts food on their table. They embrace this Turkish. It doesn't matter what the Turkish. Sometimes it's so sad. It doesn't matter what this foreigner does to him. So that is the mindset of the local African, the poor person. The poor person wants food, wants the basic shelter. Okay, so when you go in, if you're really worried, you need to have an African plan. You need to have some investment plan to go in and to invest and to help and to solve the situation that you're complaining about. Okay, it's not only the Chinese, of course, it's not. The Lebanese have been there, Malcolm and all these big shops, Macmats in Ghana, it's owned by Lebanese, and these are people who have been in Ghana for years. Most of the hotels are owned by them. Okay, and hey, you're doing a good job with what you're doing. They're making money, and they're bringing businesses, and they're bringing money to the country. Okay, so the local African, the African person on the street is not worried about what you are worried about. Oh, the Chinese. The Chinese is bringing jobs. They're opening malls. Okay, they're opening restaurants. Okay, they are into construction. Okay, they're bringing goods, whether fake or good. Right? So what are you doing? You what are you doing? All you do is sit and complain. Oh, the Chinese are there. So what? They're not going anywhere. Okay, so as our brother was saying, and they know how to work in groups. They work in groups. They know how to put their monies together. Okay, when they come, they form a Chinese bank. Okay, all right, and you're asking for 100 years. Oh, they'll form a lot of Chinese banks. Okay, they'll go into real estate. They'll build high-rise real estate apartments. They will own it, and they'll rent it to you, the locals. They'll rent it to you. You're in Germany. Oh, when you come home, you come and rent a Chinese apartment. You know, you might see a Ghanaian face as a manager. Hey, but the guy who owns this is Chinese. They're not going anywhere. They're bringing their money. They're coming to invest. They want the money. They want a piece of it. Okay, they'll go into mining. Okay, they'll mine your gold. Oh, they'll go into fashion, actually. You know, okay, so it's going to be competitive. What are you doing right now? All you care about is your luxury house and apartment somewhere in the suburb somewhere, and all you hop in the computer, you hop on YouTube and complain. Oh, please stop complaining. All right, you will go home, and the airport is for the Chinese. You know, the the buses are for the Chinese. You know, all the shops are for the Chinese. Okay, as a matter of fact, the products, you probably have to start learning how to read Chinese. Okay, if you can get a Chinese passport, it's going to be messy. Okay, right? If you don't care, and you're not going to care about working together with your folks, and all you're going to be doing is complaining, I'm sorry for you. You know, get a Chinese passport. You know, you probably have to get some names for your kids. You know, probably change your name from Owusu to Who. You know, Kofi Who. You know, it's it's not going to be a joke. All right, all I'm saying, I'm trying to create some humor, but all I'm saying that these other groups are serious. Did you see the first day when they opened the airport in Ghana? Well, go back and watch the videos. Okay, look at the people who came in. There's a lot of white people coming. Europe, Turkish, Lebanese, Chinese. Man, this is what's serious. Okay, they're not worried about $150 COVID test. You are complaining about $150. Listen, if it is $1,000, they'll pay. They know the value of Africa. You don't know the value. That's why you're complaining. That's why you're complaining about COVID, $150 test. Oh, government. They don't care. They will pay. They know the value. They know what. Ask yourself, why is it that the first day they open the country and it's people are just pouring in like that? They know the value of Africa. You don't know the value of Africa. Get on the plane, you see a lot of Chinese people going to Africa, not just Ghana, a lot of African countries. You know, you are afraid of going to Africa because you've heard all these things. You're afraid, you know. So it's going to be competitive. That's what it is. It's going to be very competitive. You know, the Chinese are not going anywhere. The Lebanese are not going anywhere. You know, people from the UK, they'll come in, they'll invest, they'll build factories. You know, they'll compete, they'll buy land, and they'll buy thousands of acres. You know, that is what it's going to be. I mean, that's what the story is going to be. Okay. All right, we can move on.
I'm going to add this question here. So he said, Hobdi, we need to get people to get and put cash to get invest in large business, land, individual balance. Enough. I agree. Let's work in group. I agree. So it may look like we are just talking, right? But we're doing this for a reason, because eventually we will have to, come up with some serious money and try to salvage or take something before it's too late. Now, so the thought for me is that here's the conditions, though. The condition is you must have provided accommodation for yourself and your family. That is established. Other than that, I wouldn't recommend, putting all this money into these things, because we want you to take care of in-house first. Okay. So eventually, we are building our network. Eventually, that we are going to be competing at a high level within a group, whether local or domestic or foreign in Ghana, because we also want to make our mark. Yeah, so that will require serious money. So we are getting there. We want some people that are doers instead of talkers. So we are not just here just rambling around and that kind of stuff. This is a serious thing. We care about these things, and if we don't really get in the game, then it's like, we have nobody else to blame. And then because these people are very, very serious. I've watched them very closely. Is how they are moving, where they are moving to. Somebody has done a great, they just don't make decisions like that. And so we have to work with people that the brain works, and people that are doers, people that are passionate about Africa, not just talk about it. Show some cute little videos in there. That's not gonna do anything, because if you can show me something, I can come take it from you. What is the point? And so we will have to do that until eventually we get somebody in the government that have a sense. That may happen, that may never happen, but we have to go in there, and we have to go get our piece and try to restore it. So, but we like to hear people come in. Let me post the link in, because I posted a link. Just join in. We want to hear your thoughts and everything. And stuff. What do you think we can do? What are you thinking? Do you see? Are we crazy? Are we just illusion? What we talking about and stuff like that. So come in, click on the link, and then I'll bring you in. Other than that, we're gonna continue a little bit, and then we're gonna wrap it up and stuff like that. So, Salif, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say that you know, people to please note that this discussion is not to prone any xenophobia or something like that. It's for, for us African living, outside Africa or in the continent, to wake up, to organize ourselves so we can build a better future. Not for ourselves, we done. It's for the next generation that's gonna come. So please post your comment and join the discussion so we can talk about it. One thing also that that make that things difficult is bribery. Those companies and those people, they have a lot of money, so they bribe our politicians, our leaders, and they can get, they can cut corners more easily. They have access to everything than a local guy, that if you don't know somebody, man, you're not going anywhere. So that's the thing too. Yeah.
So I'll add a little bit to that. So Salif, that's very important. So one of the things too is that, as I've been visiting Ghana, I'm building my networks. Because you need that to move things smoothly in Ghana. It's all about the networks and stuff like that. So eventually, some of us will be on the ground, and would have developed those relationships, would have know who is who, so that we don't get the resistance, or if there's a resistance there, there's a price for them to pay, or that kind of stuff. And so we get things done. So, we are making progress. We are, strategically placing ourselves in different areas, building our relationship, because that is true. It's a stumbling block. When we go in and they know we from there, sometimes they want to play this funny game and stuff like that. But you know what? There's a way how we do things in Ghana and stuff like that. So I think once we start doing that, we'll be able to, make some progress. People come in. I'm gonna call names. Let me see.
Okay, so one of the it's very important that in this discussion we also talk about the solutions, as you mentioned before, and in addressing and focusing on solutions. Sometimes you need to have information about the actual problem on the ground. That's why we talk the way we talk. Some people think that it's all about showing the positives, but hey, you have to highlight the negatives so we can build upon it. Okay. So recently, I was privy to how Ghana have managed its gold and mineral resources in the past. So, and this is it. So the government of Ghana is not really interested in investing, actually getting the machinery, the capital to mine gold. They're not interested in that. All they are interested in is investors coming in with their capital to mine the gold, and then they take a percentage, the locals take a percentage, and then the investor take the rest. This is how it has been from the past. So if you're listening to this broadcast and you're interested in mining in Africa, mining in Ghana, going to minerals, going into gold, listen to this. Okay, so then the foreign investor comes in with his capital. You do the exploration, and it's very expensive because you are going under the ground. Okay, and so then you have, let's say, 1,000 acres. You're supposed to explore, and the prospecting, exploration, and then you actually have to dig the gold, find it, get the gold, sell it, and then the money that you get, the government would take 10%. 10%. This is what the government of Ghana takes. 10%, that you pay some royalties to the locals, and then the rest. So let's say you get 85% or you get 80%. Is this yours? So this is how it has been. And these companies who come in are not African companies. They are foreign entities. Okay. So do you think that is fair? Why wouldn't the government invest in the capital, own the business? Or let's say, let your locals own the business, own the capital, and then you keep the bulk of the money. But this is how Ghana's gold has been for the past years. I was so shocked when I heard that, when I read that. So working in groups, working together, sharing information, looking at the history, that is going to help us,
Yeah,
going forward.
the brother Nana is very right. It's the same thing in Burkina Faso too. It's the same thing everywhere in Africa. The thing is that there is a lack of transparency on those businesses. Those mining businesses, there is no transparency at all. What they do is that even the top level employee, they're not local. They bring their own people everywhere. It's just at the a low level echelon that you can see local people. We don't train our people, we don't have the machinery, and we don't plan for it. And you have some side things that going on, nobody knows about it, and that pack of money is for the minister and for this company. They're getting kickback. They're getting it's I don't know what to say, man. It's a lot of disaster. So, but also, what kind of solution can we bring into the table? Guys, speak up.
Okay, I have a couple of people. I'm gonna add them. So I'm gonna add Lizzie and Linder, and then Lizzie, you go first, um, and then I'll add Linda after. Hello, can you hear us?
Are you able to hear me?
Perfectly.
Okay. What I wanted to say, what I noticed with the three of you all's synopsis is that there seems to be one common thread, and that is the government.
Can you hear? I cannot hear.
Can you hear us?
No, I can hear.
Okay. All right. I'll bring Linda, and then when hi Linda, can you see us? Can you hear us? Yeah, the Wi-Fi in Dubai and Europe is bad. All right. So anyway, so when they join us, I will bring them in. So like you said, is I think Lisbeth was talking about the government and that kind of stuff. So, but I think that if we want to focus on this African leadership, I think I have no faith in that arena. And so life is about leadership, you know, do for self, do the best you can, find people. Granted, it will help if you have the right leadership and stuff like that to set the agenda and stuff like that. But hey, if there's vacuum, there's vacuum. Take the mantle and then get people together and do the best you can. And so and stuff like that. So I don't, I don't care who you're gonna vote in that's going to really bring like a revolution to sort these things out. So, but
The attitude,
if go ahead.
the attitude should be you can't focus on leadership. You can't depend on leadership. You can't wait for the leadership to do the right thing. If your country it has a enable environment where you can go in and not get shot by let's say a faction from a war. If your country is stable and you can go in and start a business, you can work with people that is how you start. You start in groups. Okay, people who are serious, people who talk and then they walk. They talk, they walk. They're not just talking. There's too much talking. There's too much, just blowing, air. When it comes to Africans, you want people who will actually do. So brother mentioned doing for self. You want to start a business, share ideas with like-minded people. Come in groups, talk about these things. First of all, you have to see Africa as viable. The reason why people leave is they have no hope where they are. They have no hope in Africa. You have to clear that mindset. You have to take it away and then see Africa as viable. It's where you can plant something and reap a lot of money. You can do cocoa, do chocolate, whatever. You can go in there and make a lot of money. People do that. Other groups come in there and they're able to succeed. So these are some of the things. First of all, educate yourself. Visit the continent. Go back home. See what's going on. Learn. And work in groups. I think you have
Okay,
something.
I'll add Linda here. Hi, Linda. Then I'll add Elizabeth after.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi. Yeah, I've been having a bit of technical difficulties.
No
I've
problem.
been having a bit of technical difficulties, but I finally made it.
Sure.
Can you hear
Thank you.
me?
So yes, we can
All
hear
right.
you.
Okay,
Go
good.
ahead.
All right, good. Good. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't heard most of what you said because I've just come in literally, but I think I have an idea what you're talking about. Yeah, definitely. Like us Africans don't do, we tend to be mostly individualistic. So hopefully, we're not just talking and we can get together and do something, because I've seen how they're really taking over our country. And it's amazing to watch, really. When you watch all the YouTube videos you see of, all these shops that are out there, they're setting up with ease. And just like your speaker said, they went back home in droves when the border opened, and we're sitting over here scared, with fear to go back home and take care of things, basically. Do some, get together and do something, because if we're not careful, they're going to take over. Definitely, yeah.
Good. Thank you, Linda. I'm gonna bring Lizzie BD on. Okay. Thank you for your thoughts, guys. We need more of you to
Okay.
join in. Okay. Let me add Lizzie BD.
Hi,
Let's give it a
everyone.
shot again.
Yes, let's. I'm sorry. I don't know
It's
what's
all right. It's
happening
all
with my
right.
connection. But anyway, what I was saying was the common denominator that the three of you gentlemen was speaking on centralized on government. And although the government could be flawed, we all know we need government for a multitude of reasons. Um, I will agree with you to the point that, yes, there definitely needs to be collectivism and pooling of the resources so that we all can get together and embark upon different industries so that we're players in those industries as well. But in terms of the government, they should, I'm going to give you an example here uh, in the UAE. So, yes, they have a lot of foreign companies here. However, as companies grow and they reach a certain level of employees, um, there are certain rules and requirements that the government here implements so that the local Emiratis, because they are small people, are not overlooked. And so I'm saying that to say this. I think that is an important role in terms of government to limit some of the actions that all of the foreign investment is taking. I understand what you're saying. They're corrupt. They're corrupt in America. There is no a society on planet Earth where corruption does not exist. It is the nature of humans. Some of us are just devils. This is how we are. We want to be thieves and mistreat people. It's just how we are, and greed. So I think it's important, but I think that they should focus how they're going to deal with all of the foreign investments, especially so that the local people are not being bamboozled. Like when you were talking, Tony, saying that, the chief only got 200,000. For yourself, being in America, you have land leases that's probably the land lease for a year, not for 20 years. That's insane. So what goes along with that as well is also educating the local persons so that they are not taking over. I mean, I agree with what Nana Ya was saying about, the Chinese, they're not going anywhere. So we need to stop complaining about that. Totally agree. But a lot of the stuff that they're doing, that comes from a lack of education. If I don't know what my worth is, I will allow anyone to bamboozle me. So that's what I wanted to say.
Great point. Let me add some few things. So I think, yeah, I agree with a lot of things of what you're saying, which is in the United Arab Emirates, is that, you see, when you have leadership, right, it makes sense because it's a small country, right? So you want to retain, you don't want to lose yourself. You also don't want to give the country away, right? So they want to retain certain sovereignty, right? So that
Yes.
is leadership, right? Because no, even the United States is preventing the Chinese government from owning certain companies here on national security ground. So because if you are thinking and you care about things, you put things in place, you see, to prevent the potential exploitations. But where we come from, if you want to be real about it, is that they're not even thinking about these things, and he's gone from not even think about it to I don't care. That is where we are. Because why wouldn't, even when I make contractual deal, why would I give 90%? For what? For what? Unless I'm making trillions. But I'm not, it's not even a deal. So if you go to it, especially when it's a natural resources, and you don't even come at the table, I mean, are we telling me as a country we can invest in mining equipment? We can educate ourselves in mining processes? We can't do that. I mean, then we will talk about Africa is the future. Come on, man. Listen, if you can't walk, man, you forget about sprinting. You see, it's because if you watch the way we are conducting yourself, and you have great observations, and you understand the human nature and human behavior, because how come I'm able to tell you why the central region or the western region part of Ghana has been an interest? Because I was thinking from outside the box. If I want to go into a country and exploit the resources, what are the key things I'm looking for? So it's no coincidence that somebody knew what they were doing and they took the time to really say, this will be the area that I need to go if I'm able to get all these resources. So my attitude is that, listen, at a certain point, man, if people going to show up, they're going to show up. And if you're going to wait for somebody going to show up, then you're not going to really get where you need to be. At a certain point, you have to go in. Yes. Is it going to be on a limited capacity? Yes. We don't have the force as the government now. Now, we may not have it right now. But if we build and eventually we have some influence, we get into all these sectors, we control certain things, then maybe we can put our people in there. How much are they going to give you? $1 million? Serious. $1 million is not a lot of money to sell your country. It's not. You should never even sell your country for any price, right? But you have people that will take 50,000. Okay, what is 50,000 really? And so that is the thing. That is what we are dealing with right now. Is that the people are not willing, because they don't, for some reasons they're not willing to be able to deal even with the basic, to protect the sovereignty, to protect the resources, because there's no national agenda. Everybody has a party manifesto. You know, China has a national agenda. If the president dies today, the next president that comes in is going to follow the national agenda. It's not going to be deviated. United States has a national agenda. When the Republican comes in office or the Democrat, there's certain thing that must be done as a nation. We don't. We just don't. You know, so, and if we look at this 100 years and we continue being like this, I don't see like how we transform the country or the continent, because by 100 years we may not even have anything. Am I wrong? Go ahead, Salih.
So, so I see it on a large scale. COVID-19, taught us a lot. You saw how Africans were attacked in China, attacked in various places in Lebanon. Look, it's not secret that the global black race attack. Okay, so it's not a matter of, oh, this is for Africans or this is for African Americans. It's a collective. It's against us. Okay, so we need to educate our people. We need to educate ourselves. We need to talk to each other about these things. So a question of the government of Ghana giving gold concessions, mineral concessions to foreign companies to come in and mine and take 90%, take 80%, and give us, crumbs. It should be changed. We should demand change. And I believe when these laws were being drafted, I don't believe that maybe the Ghanaians drafted these laws. It's the Europeans or the whoever whoever the foreign entity was the one who said, I would, because I'm coming in with my money and my resources and my capital, I will take what I want and I'll give you 10% and pay maybe 0.5% royalties and take the rest of the money. These are things that we just have to say no. It has to change. Okay, so the new crop of leaders in the next 100 years and next 50 years to change some of these things, to change the laws. Now we have to look at the oil resources. What percentage is going to the government? What percentage is going to the people? And then what percentage is going to the foreign entities? Because these are the resources that belong to the people.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you're bringing your machines to get it doesn't mean you take everything. And in most cases in Africa, this is how it has been. This is how it has been. That is why we have villages where there are no lights, that there are no basic necessities. I mean, we can develop the whole Ghana can be developed if we are really serious, if our resources and the money, and we cut out corruption. In 10 years, we can develop that whole country. I believe that, because how many villages do we have? How many towns do we have? How many roads do we need? We can do these things, but it's because of some of these very unfair deals and the corrupt practices that has kept us poor for all these years.
Somebody else want to join us? Okay, so other than that, I don't want to keep it too long. We're gonna maybe wrap it up. So final thought each, one solution, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Okay, so Salif, you want to take that? You want to go first?
Yeah, definitely. All right. My thought in that is that my final word is that enough talking. Let's go into actions. Plan well, and we go in. Stop the fear, right, and go in and dive. Build what you can build, you know, regarding about your expertise. If you are into technology, do something in technology. You are into real estate, do real estate, something like that. Just start. That's my final word.
Thank you. Lizzie, can I add one more thing?
Sure. Grassroots, mobilizing from the ground floor for a common goal, as well as collectivism in terms of money. As you were saying, Tony, I think all of those things are important because the grassroots is going to educate the people on the ground. And then the collectivism in terms of the money is going to aid us into, let's say, getting some of this pricey equipment, etc. I'm doing that myself right now with tippers, also known as dumper trucks. So, yeah, totally agree. Thank you.
Nanaya, one more to go.
Well, so start seeing Africa as viable. Mostly the reason why we leave, we abandon the place for all the reasons. Number one reason is people don't see Africa as viable. I'm talking about Africans don't see Africa as viable. That's the reason why we leave and we allow the negative information to just spread. Start seeing Africa as viable. Talk to your friends, pick up the phone, call your friends who don't think Africa is viable. Talk to them, educate people, uh, educate the locals when you go home. Talk to them, not to be making Chinese people chiefs. Uh, you know, um, and explain the reason why. You know, they shouldn't do that. They shouldn't sell their lands for cheap. Talk to the chiefs and people. Explain to them. That is the way we are going to go forward. Educate, let people change their minds. I believe education is the key. Thank you.
Linda, you have a last word to add before we go? What do you think we can do?
Yeah, I totally agree that education is key, really. Yes, yes, I totally agree that educate it really must start from education, which is very key because we need to really change the mindset of our people from just settling for say $50,000 or whatever to a winning mindset where we can, look at the bigger picture for winning bigger things other than just settling for, minimum amounts of money just to line our pockets and keep us happy temporarily. Really, we need to educate and change our people's mindsets basically. And perhaps maybe we can reach to our local MPs and start making noise about this issue. And hopefully some of them will hear us and, they'll be able to, obviously, I'm sure a lot of them work closely with the president as well. And hopefully, if we reach out to our local MPs, they'll be able to get the message onto the president, and hopefully they'll also look into, what our grievances are about regarding the issue. Of them just letting anybody come in who just gives them a little bit money, to make business in Ghana, basically. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents.
I agree with everything everybody said. So we all passionate about our country. We want it to live up to the expectations, and so it is our job, to challenge leaders and as leaders ourselves to also be constructive and then do the best we can with like-minded people to move, our country and continent forward. So anyway, thank everybody for tuning in, for coming, all the speakers. This is awesome. This is classic. This was very, very important decision, important topic to address because, there's a lot of things we can do. So thank you very much. Have a great, wonderful day wherever you are. Okay.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody.